Hello everyone and welcome to Premier League Unfiltered. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to start off this episode with something that's driving everybody insane right now, the international break. We're in mid-November and we've only played 11 match weeks, right? And yet this is already our third international break. It's September, October and now November. It's absolutely killing the league. It totally destroys the rhythm. You get a team like Manchester United finding their groove, finally looking like a unit under Amorim, and then the international breaks comes in, which halts the momentum. Teams that are struggling like Chelsea get time to breathe, but everyone else has to try and crank the engine again when we come back. This stop-start calendar is why we see so much inconsistency in the middle of the table. It's impossible to build serious momentum when your best players are flying around the globe every 4 weeks. We're about to hit the most intense period of the season, and players returning with jet lag and zero club rhythm is just bad management, simple as that. And speaking of bad management, we have to talk about the injury news that dropped over the weekend. League leaders Arsenal with a massive double blow. Gabriel is injured. He picked up a muscle issue in his right thigh while playing for Brazil, and now he could be out for 3 to 6 weeks. And compounding to the problem, Calafiori, who's been so tactically flexible for Arteta, also came back from the Italy camp with injury issues. This is going to be a potential turning point, and I'm going to stand by what I mentioned in an earlier episode. For me, Gabriel, along with Haaland, has been the single most influential player in the entire league this season. Haaland is the goal machine with 14 goals. He's the source of all the offense for Manchester City. But Gabriel is the reason Arsenal's defense is so good. They've conceded just 5 goals in 11 games. He wins the aerial duels and anchors the aggressive high line. And the timing of this injury, it couldn't be worse. Arsenal now face a brutal run of fixtures. When the league returns, Arsenal immediately face their North London derby against Spurs. That's followed by an away trip to Chelsea and then a crucial Champions League showdown against Bayern Munich. And losing Gabriel for this specific period could completely unravel their lead. And the one thing Arsenal had over the other rivals was defensive consistency, and now it's all gone. If they drop points now, we'll all look back and blame the international break. Like I also mentioned in an earlier episode that the Ekitike's red card was a turning point in Liverpool's downfall, I feel Gabriel's injury is going to be something similar for Arsenal. And also, Arsenal aren't the only ones suffering either. This break is causing problems everywhere else. Man City depend a lot on Haaland, and his fatigue is an issue. Yeah, he scored another brace for Norway, which is great, but he's playing constant high intensity minutes when he should be resting ahead of the festive schedule, where they really need to push Arsenal and capitalize on Arsenal's injury concerns. And teams like Villa and Newcastle were just finding their top gear, and now they lose that momentum and the rhythm. It's hard enough to stay consistent when your players are away every 4 weeks. The bottom line is that the international break has done exactly what it always does. It has killed club momentum, inflicted major unnecessary injuries, and potentially damaged the Premier League title race. Okay, switching gears to Manchester United now. We just talked about Arsenal's injury disaster. Well, United's got a situation brewing too, but I think this one could be actually a blessing in disguise for the rest of the season for United. Sesko came off injured during the Spurs game. It's not serious, which is the good news, but it's likely he won't be risked straight away after the international break. Now, why is that important? Because Sesko is the striker in that front three, and without him, Amorim has to choose between Mount and Mainoo in midfield, and this choice is huge. If Mount plays in the front three with Cunha and Mbeumo, Bruno stays deeper alongside Casemiro. If Bruno pushes up forward to the number 10, then Mainoo finally gets his chance to start in the midfield pivot with Casemiro, and Amorim has to go with option 2. This is a turning point for Mainoo this season. We've seen Kobbie Mainoo itching for minutes. He's only had a few substitute appearances this season, and the media has been talking about a potential loan move as well. But he is a massive talent, and this is his window to seize a starting point. But the bigger reason to make this switch is Bruno Fernandes. Bruno has been playing deeper in the pivot alongside Casemiro, and while he's been a bit of a liability defensively, he's still been a statistical monster. He is the king of chance creation. He currently leads the entire Premier League with 29 chances created this season. He's creating 2.7 chances per 90 minutes. That is phenomenal for a player sitting deep, having to track back and start attack from deep midfield. Now imagine that man at the number 10 spot. That's his natural position. When he thrives, you push him up, you relieve him of some of the defensive tracking, and you just let him feed passes to Cunha and Mbeumo. And even if Mount starts, he can't get the full 90, so you can bet that around the 60-minute mark, Mount gets subbed, Bruno pushes up to the number 10, and Mainoo comes on as the 8. It's a win-win for United and a massive boost for Mainoo. And finally, we have to talk about the defense that needs to keep the clean sheet for all of this to work. Matthijs de Ligt has been our undisputed best player of this season. While everyone talks about the attack, de Ligt is a true warrior anchoring the back three. He leads the Premier League centre-backs in defensive duels. He's won 37 duels so far, which is a testament to his aggression and timing. He has been an absolute rock, and he's not just a tackler, he's smart. He records a low possession loss rate. He's safe on the ball and great at starting those transitions. And if we are going to win consistently, de Ligt needs to keep up that massive defensive output. And so for the game against Everton when we return, I'm hoping this is what Amorim does with the starting 11. Lemens in goal, Euro, de Ligt and Shaw. Centre backs, Mainoo, Casemiro in the midfield pivot, Mazraoui and Diallo, wing backs, and then Cunha, Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes as a front three. So now let's quickly round off this episode with some quick preview of this weekend's fixture. First up, Burnley versus Chelsea to kick things off. Should be a comfortable one for Chelsea. Expect them to win this one 4-1. Then we have Liverpool versus Forest. It's at Anfield, so I'm backing Liverpool to win this one 3-0. Then we have Bournemouth versus West Ham. I think this one will be a 1-1 draw. And then we have Wolves versus Palace. I'd expect Palace to get all 3 points on the road and win this one 1-0. Brighton versus Brentford. I'll go with the Brighton 2-1 win. Fulham versus Sunderland. Sunderland I think will continue their good form and win this one 2-1. Newcastle versus City will be a good game at St James Park where Newcastle will test City, but I'll go with a 3-2 win to City. Leeds versus Villa. I'll go with a 1-0 win to Villa. Then the big North London derby. I'm going with a shock prediction and I'm going to say a Spurs win 1-0. And finally we have United versus Everton. I'll go with a United win 3-2. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Thank you all for listening. Let us know your thoughts and feedbacks. Speak to you all soon. Take care everyone. Bye bye.